Hello and welcome. As you can tell by the title, I'm the Obsessed Movie Man, O.M.M. I'm sorry I have not posted my review earlier. My computer's been dead for about 5 weeks, I believe, and I went to see Man of Steel the day it came out, and I've been just going over all my thoughts about what I wanted to say. I've been really upset that I haven't been able to do my review, but let's get into it. So far, I've been seeing so many polarized reviews. It's either you are going to hate this film or you're going to love it. Or you could like it, but I'm just seeing a lot of the hated love. And so I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but I know the basics of the character, what I like and what I don't like. So I was excited for Man of Steel. I even got a Man of Steel figure, and this is my original Superman figure. And I was convinced Man of Steel would be a hit. So what do I think of Man of Steel? Okay, yes, I didn't like Man of Steel. I did not. And I took notes, so feel free to just start writing in the comments that you're upset. I can see what it was trying to do. First problem, it has no real linear storyline, in my opinion. It's trying to be like Batman Begins. But where Batman Begins works because you can clearly tell when the flashbacks are taking place and when we're in the present time. There's like little side swipes, like transition effects, and we could clearly just tell when things are taking place. In Man of Steel, I like the opening, how it just gets right down to the birth of Superman, the destruction of Krypton, and General Zod being in the Phantom Zone. Oh yeah, and there will be spoilers in this review. So I like that. But as soon as he lands on Earth, 20 years old, and that's pretty much like Batman Begins in a way. They did something similar to that. But in this, they keep going back and forth. Like he's an adult, then he's a little kid, then he's a teenager, adult, teenager again, kid again. And I haven't seen the movie since the day it came out, so maybe my memory's hazy. But that's what I noticed a lot of the time. And also during the final battle, I got I thought it was really confusing because it started off they're up in space, and then they're in Smallville, then they're in Metropolis. They go back to Smallville. I think they go up to space a second time, then back to Metropolis, and somehow like Lois Lane is able to get there. Another thing I had a problem with was the shaky camera. My God, the shaky camera has to stop. Okay, I was never a fan of it. I know it works sometimes, I guess, even in those horror films, even though I still hate it, but I can see how it works. And I can see why people use it in action films. But my God, does it have to be shaky when people are talking? Like, does this camera have to be shaking when I'm talking? No, it doesn't. It doesn't need to be shaking. Like the Council of Krypton, Jor-El is talking about Krypton is going to explode, and you see the camera just moving. Put the thing on a tripod or a Steadicam. Jesus. And the characters. I would talk about the characters, but there are no characters because these are so bland. These are blank slates. With the exception of the actress playing Ma Kent. She was actually good. Like, Henry Cavill, at least he looks like Superman. He smiles at least one or two times. But he just has no personality. There's nothing I can remember about him. And some people are saying, "Oh, they're trying to make Superman darker." Well, at first I thought that was a good idea, but now I'm trying to see. I'm thinking, I don't think you can do that. I don't think Sorry. I don't think Superman's the kind of person that you can make dark. He fights for truth, justice, the American way, something like that, and he's just a kind person to be around. What else? But oh yeah, the characters. Perry White, bland and forgettable. Um, Jor- Jor-El. Actually, Jor-El was actually surprisingly okay. I was okay with Russell Crowe. But Pa Kent, bland and forgettable. Lara, bland and forgettable. Lois Lane, I'll get into that. And General Zod, at least he was entertaining. But he was overacting, but it was really entertaining to watch. Also, too much destruction. This is something I would have expected to see in like Man of Steel 3 or the Justice League movie. Hell, I don't think there was this much destruction in the Avengers. Really. Because Metropolis is basically extinct after this movie. And I think a lot of it is Superman's fault. Because when he's having the big fight with Zod, he's literally throwing Zod into buildings. And if I'm correct, there are times in the comic where Superman actually thinks about taking the battle outside of Metropolis. Like he wouldn't want to harm all these people. Yeah, the spaceship is tunneling into Metropolis, but he could try and divert. I still think he could have found a way to divert its attention, try to get the Kryptonian army out of there. I think that there was a way he could have resolved that, but man, it had too much destruction, and I don't get how Metropolis was, because at the end of the movie, Metropolis is magically rebuilt. It's like Tokyo in those Godzilla movies. It takes no time to rebuild them. Let's see, Lois. There's no purpose to Lois Lane in this movie. She's just there because she's Lois. What? And let me explain. Well, she does have one good line. She delivers the one line I laughed at. Like she's in Antarctica. Oh, and there's another thing. I'll talk about that. But she's in Antarctica because they're studying a Kryptonian ship that they found. And she's talking to these two guy scientists, and she's like, "Let's stop measuring dicks around here, okay?" That was kind of funny because that's something Lois would actually say. But she's there just to meet Superman, figure out who Superman is. Yeah, she does that, which I am actually against, and just to get in trouble. And I know that's the thing about the Lois Lane character, but at least in like the original Superman movie, she had a purpose. She was interacting with Superman, well, more than in this one. She was interacting. She was explaining the story. She had a relationship. This relationship between Superman and Lois comes totally out of nowhere, and it isn't deserved. Like they have a kiss at the end that came out of totally out of left field. And I didn't really like how Lois figures out that Superman is Clark Kent, because I always consider Superman is a romanticized comic book character. I guess you would call it the love triangle between Lois, Clark, and Superman. I love the sense of mystery in it, even if you could easily tell that Clark is Superman. But whatever. That's something like if at the end of the movie they introduce Lois when she has that line, "Welcome to the planet," but she doesn't know Clark is Superman. That would have been kind of cool, I thought. Yeah, she's just there. Needs to be saved about 3 times in the film, but that I can excuse. That's basically Lois Lane in a nutshell. The Antarctica scene. They established that Kryptonian ships went out into space and were looking for other planets to inhabit, and like this was thousands of years ago, or it was thousands of years in Earth years. I don't know, but they land on Earth, and the Kryptonians don't survive. They can't take the atmosphere on Earth. Yet, baby Kal-El, Superman, was able to survive, raised by farmers. Figure that one out. So, years and years later, Clark is an adult. He goes to Antarctica. I was assuming he was going to get the Fortress of Solitude, but no. And he finds his father's memory program in the ship, and he finds the suit there. Question: that ship, if I'm correct, wasn't Jor-El. I don't think programmed that ship, and it's thousands of years ago. Ships went out to planets. So how is and they said that Superman suit was for Kal-El. I think they said that. So did Jor-El's ancestors happen to know that Jor-El would one day figure out the planet was dying and would send his child to Earth, and one day they would need him to have a suit? Or was that suit just on standby for some? It couldn't have been on standby because it has the symbol of hope, which is Jor-El's family crest. So it couldn't have just been another crew member's uniform. So that threw me off completely. Okay, this is the big spoiler. The ending. Superman kills Zod. I have mixed feelings on this. Originally, I was pissed when they did that because Superman. People saying that's only Batman. Bullshit. No, Superman has the same morals as Batman. He would not kill. The scenario is um, Zod has lost all his people into the Phantom Zone, never to get him again, and he's now going to just kill everyone on Earth just to get as revenge. And they're in. It looks like Grand Central Station. That's where they are. And Superman has Zod in a headlock, but Zod is firing his laser beam very slowly at this family who are huddled on a staircase corner. But they could get out. There's nothing blocking them. They can just run away. But no, they don't. And so Superman's like, "Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it," and he snaps Zod's neck. And he bursts out screaming, and that's it. So, first, couldn't he have just flown Zod out of the building or thrown him somewhere? So I think that he could have found another way. Maybe they could have even had Zod just be one of the people to also fall into the Phantom Zone. Just have it like that. You don't need to kill the villain in every movie. And then I was starting to think this could work. This could have worked if because they do address in this movie that Superman is holding back his anger and frustration towards people. Like they had flashbacks about him getting picked on by kids. There was a scene with him in a truck driver getting into an argument. So this could have been the breaking point. And if they addressed it in the following scene, like perhaps kind of Dark Knight style, like he's hunched over, depressed, and maybe he has another talk with his father. Maybe Lois Lane comes up to him and like puts her hand on his shoulder. Maybe she gives him a hug or something. Something that they address what just happened. But what happens? Next scene, it's like 2 months later. Superman is taking a satellite out of Earth that was spying on him. He's happy, and there's no mention of Zod's death ever again. No emotional turmoil whatsoever. Literally, it's the next scene. Again, there's like no transition effects. You can never tell when anything is going on. I guess I could say some of the things I liked. The effects were good. Zack Snyder, it wasn't as stylized as he usually does, but it was still good. Yeah, the effects, the Easter eggs. I enjoyed the Easter eggs. Notably the LexCorp that you could see a couple of times. I'm told that Wayne Enterprises, a satellite that says Wayne Enterprises, can be seen. I didn't see it. So, would I recommend the movie? That's actually a difficult question. If you're a big Superman fan, you're probably going to go see it. But it's up to you if you're going to like it because there are Superman fans I know who hate it and like it. I mean, love it actually. I really wanted this to be the big summer movie. I was so excited for this, guys. You don't know how much this is killing me to. I don't mean to just destroy this movie or just point out all the negative things about it, but it just left me so upset. I'm not upset, not like angry. It just left me sad. Cause, but I know Zack Snyder and Christopher Nolan, they had good intentions. They had a great ideal, and I know they wanted to tell a good story. But something happened. I don't know what happened. The script or directing, I don't know what happened, but we got this. But I am hoping for a Man of Steel 2. They are confirmed for doing that. And I actually think I'm going to give it another chance. Because I think a Superman movie can be done. I still maintain that the Christopher Reeve one is by far, that one and the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2 are the best Superman movies. Despite, I don't want to say cheesy, but despite like the ludicrous scenarios, the kind of funny moments, and the complete disregard for physics, it's a good movie. It captures the heart and soul of Superman better than Man of Steel did. Yeah, people complain about Lex Luthor in it. People complain about Superman flying around the world. People complain about him catching Lois Lane. But it's fun. It's a comic book movie. And you can make the argument for this, but this one, I just misses the ball, in my opinion, for what Superman is. I just, if they do make a Man of Steel 2, I hope they do better. They learn from their mistakes. Probably not because this is getting a lot of. I think this is actually getting moderately good reviews. I haven't checked Rotten Tomatoes or any other person's reviews lately. I just saw some of the early reviews when I first went to see the movie. So if they're doing a second one, what are they gonna do? Is it gonna be they could easily just do Lex Luthor, but I'd be interested to see if they do another villain, like maybe Brainiac. I'd actually be cool with Livewire. Livewire is one of my favorites. Um, but sure, if they do Lex Luthor, do it. So out of 5, I'm gonna have to give this movie 2 pieces of kryptonite. I know kryptonite's not in the movie, but 2 out of 5 pieces of kryptonite. I'm so sorry, guys. If you like it, that's good. I'm not saying I'm not saying that you should think it's bad. I'm just saying it's not my cup of tea. I'm gonna stick with Christopher Reeve's Superman, but I do wait anxiously for Man of Steel 2, and I'm sure that they will get it better. So until then, this is O.M.M signing out. Sorry again for the late review. Bye.